And here we are back alive. I am Mike Briggs, the host of the show. This show is artists and authors. Artists, authors, musicians, creative people, people who do cool stuff. They are the focus of this show. And we look all over the world. We used to be just like a Valley, Central Valley, Fresno kind of show. But because of Zoom, we're talking to people all over the world now. By the way, this is our first show of the day, artists and authors. Later today, we're going to have a show called Business and Cool Stuff, people doing cool businesses. Later today, we're going to have the real estate and home improvement show and talk about home improvement. We're going to meet interesting people all day today. So please watch us. By the way, go check out our YouTube channel, YouTube/Central Valley Talk. We're almost up to 1 million views. Maybe it'll be our millionth viewer. Maybe we should have a prize for that or something. Anyway, we're searching all over. Our interns go out to Instagram, and they looked through Instagram for the most interesting people, and they found this artist. I'm going to try to say her name, Moira Donohoe. How'd I do?
You did great.
Now, you are, I looked at your paintings. They're Yosemite.
Mostly.
Mostly Yosemite. Now, you used to live in Yosemite.
Yes, I lived there.
And you live in Mariposa now.
And now I live in Mariposa.
Which is just only a, half hour, 40 minutes away?
Well, it's more like an hour now because of the road where that rock slide was. And you have to stop and wait for the red light and green light.
By the way, we're just glancing at your pictures. We're going to look at them and talk about them later. But the most fascinating thing is your family's history in Yosemite. You want to just run through that?
Oh, yeah. Well, let's see. My great-grandparents were John and Bridget Degnan, and they came over to the New World for a better life. Mm-hmm. And they ended up in Coulterville, which is about 45 miles from Yosemite, because his older brother was there.
And they came to the New World from where?
Ireland.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're from Ireland.
A great Irish tale.
Yeah, and they stayed there for a time and then walked to Yosemite Valley. Oh, John did. And then he loved it so well, he brought his young family with him.
By the way, my great-grandparents' first trip to Yosemite was in a stagecoach.
Oh.
Kind of walking stagecoach kind of thing.
Yeah.
So people weren't especially driving there.
No, it was very difficult to get there then.
And they opened a business?
Well, John worked as a laborer and kind of a jack-of-all-trades for the government. And my great-grandmother started baking bread and sold it for 12 cents a loaf.
Oh, my gosh.
And she fed a lot of people, though. She fed her family, plus a lot of the visitors that came up. Mm-hmm. So that's what they did, and they expanded over the years. They expanded the business to include other, like a restaurant and a grocery store, kind of like in the Waltons. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. A grocery store like that, you'd tell the person behind the counter what you wanted, and then they'd go and get it, and it went on like that. So I was born there, and one of my sisters and one of my brothers were born there.
Now, you say it was called Degnans? Degnans. And you went there? You saw it? I mean, it wasn't gone before you were around?
Oh, no, I worked in there. All us kids growing up worked at our parents' business.
Oh, I'll be darned. Were you actually born in the valley, Yosemite Valley?
Lewis Memorial Hospital. They call it the clinic now.
The clinic?
Yeah, it's not a hospital.
You're the first person I've ever met that was born in Yosemite.
Oh, there's a few of us around.
Where'd you go to high school and everything?
The local kids, several things happened. Some parents sent their kids to Wasatch in Utah, boarding school for high school. Some people took the bus every day to Mariposa and back. Mm-hmm. My mom came down here to Fresno, and I went to San Joaquin Memorial High School during the week and back home every weekend.
Oh, you stay here all week?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness. Separated from your beautiful Yosemite.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah. Fascinating story, by the way. And you started painting. Did somebody teach you? Was it a family thing?
No, it was highly encouraged. My family was really into the arts, music, literature, and painting. And my grandparents and my parents, too, would encourage it, and they got us what we needed. Mm-hmm. My sister and I would go out in the meadow by the chapel, which was across from our house. Mm-hmm. And when we were really little, like 3 or 4, and we would paint.
Oils then, or watercolors?
Probably watercolor. I don't quite remember that
Yeah,
far back,
3 or
but
4 years old.
we started oils though fairly young too.
Mhm.
It was probably about 11, 10, something like that.
Wow, what a beautiful place to be and
It
be
is.
capturing images. So.
Yeah, that's
Can we-
what.
Can we look at a couple of
Oh,
the
yeah.
pictures? Is this what medium?
This is apple blossom time, and it is watercolor.
Watercolor, and that is, I can't see that well. What's in the background? Well, let's go to this one now. Is this in Yosemite?
This is Tuolumne, Meadow in the Sky, and that's watercolor. And the other one is Sequoia Homage,
Okay,
and that's oil.
I love redwoods,
Me too.
and you captured it so beautifully, that redwood. Is this a particular redwood?
Well, I think this was in Elder Grove, and the dogwood were blooming at the same time when
Mhm.
I was there.
Oh, I see the dogwoods.
Yeah, and I just love that combination.
Okay, and the next one?
That's Ravens at Dewey Point. I ski there with my sister a lot and my brother.
Like cross-country skiing?
Mhm.
I see, okay.
And there's these ravens that hang out there and steal people's lunches all the time if you're not careful. But it's also a popular place to go to in the summer.
Okay, now let's go to this next one, another beautiful,
That one's called Path in the Summer Woods. It's an oil, and it was just the way the light filters through the trees, and it's very
Yeah.
peaceful.
it's funny, you could be in one spot different times of day in different seasons in Yosemite, and it's a whole different look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the next one is,
That's North Clouds Rest from North Dome.
mm-hmm,
That was a hike. I do some of these right on scene and some at our studio.
okay.
This one is like 30 by 40 inches, so I did a lot of sketching first,
Mhm.
and I did the painting in my studio.
Okay.
But it was a hike. It's quite a hike to the top of North Dome.
Do you sometimes work off of photographs?
Sometimes my own. I never use other people's.
Other people, they use your
Yeah.
own photos, so, let's see this.
But
one.
I love being outside to paint.
All right, the next one is,
Let's see. Oh, that's View from Artist's Point, and that's at that time of day when all the top peaks get hit with that beautiful light,
Yeah, I
that
love
pink
that.
and gold,
I love
alpine
that.
glow.
yeah,
That's just above the Tunnelville.
yeah. Is that our last one? Oh, no, we got a couple more.
Oh, that's East Side Aspen,
Mm-hmm,
and that's an oil.
okay.
Most of them are oil. I just decided I like doing tree portraits, and that was a particular tree, like the sequoia, and I love the aspen, especially in fall when they start to turn.
Yeah.
And it was a day like that. It was warm.
Is this higher country, lower country, Aspens?
It was over by Lee Vining,
Mm-hmm.
so I think that's about, 7,000 or so.
Oh, that's, yeah. Okay, let's look at this next one now.
That one's called The Source. It was in that show, the agriculture show at the Circle Gallery in Madeira, and I got a second prize.
I
second
heard about
place for
that show.
Yeah.
We had some guests on that were going to that or
I,
putting it on.
I think I saw a
Yeah.
lady that had, but anyway, it's water, and they had 4 categories in that show about agriculture. There was people, livestock, water, and I forget the fourth. Machinery was the 4th one.
But this one was water.
Yeah, and it's all the layers, kind of metaphorical for life, and all that good stuff.
And we have one more, which is just beautiful. I love this one.
That's Pohono Storm or Bridal Veil Storm. The Native Americans called it Pohono. But there was a storm coming up. When I did that in the field, and when I first got there, it was a bright, beautiful, sunny day. And by the time I decided I better leave, it was like blowing and sleeting and snowing. It was freezing
Oh,
cold.
boy.
So I finished it at home.
Yes, but that's just beautiful. They're all beautiful. I was just moved by your art, by the way.
Oh,
I
thank
was
you.
very moved by them. I looked at some, I think, early this morning. You get up early, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw these emails coming. I said, I better take a look at these. Now, do you own all these still? Do you sell them? Do you sell the
A lot of them are gone, but I some of them I still have.
Mm-hmm. And do you sell prints? Do you sell the originals?
I sell the originals, and I do sell prints, but I don't make prints of everything.
Is it hard to give up an original?
Yes.
Yeah, I bet it's really hard. Now, let me ask, because I asked you about watercolors, which I understand fairly well, because when I was in kindergarten, we painted with watercolors. But the oils, do you have to wait till one layer dries before you can start the next?
There's a technique called alla prima, which means all at once.
All at once, okay.
So, like if you're outside painting something, you usually have all your paints already on your palette all mixed, the colors that you want. And so there's piles of color, and you just go at it, you know. And there's a lot of different approaches because people are different, you know. So, but it's usually done in a couple hours, maybe 3 hours at the most, because the light changes so fast.
Yeah, oh yes, I see. So you got a speed paint.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, you have a studio, is it a public studio, or that's just where you go to work?
I have a studio. It's on our property in Mariposa. We live rural. We're in the forest. So,
And so where will people find your prints? Just online, or are they at a shop in town, or anything like that?
I have work at Yosemite Gateway Art Center, which is in Oakhurst.
Great.
And we're having a thing come up, a holiday market, mid-December for 3 days. I'm going to put it on my website, but I'm not exactly sure the dates. Right. And also I show on the east side in June Lake at Moonshadow Gallery.
Moonshadow.
And off my website.
Now, by the way, if you're watching and you're from Fresno, even down to Bakersfield or further, there's going to be this show in Oakhurst, mid-December. Go to Moira's, I say your name right, huh?
Yeah.
Moira's webpage, and you're going to put the dates on there.
Yes, I'll be doing that when I find out, probably in the next couple of days.
Yeah, it's a great day trip to get up there to Oakhurst and buy some of Moira's art. By the way, your website is moiradonohoe.com. It's on the screen if you're watching us. And you have art on the website?
Yes, I
Can
have
they
a lot of art.
purchase it on the website?
Yeah,
or?
they can. Sometimes they can contact me if they want something special, or, you know, if they have questions. My email, if they go to my website, I also have another email that's on that website.
Okay.
So either email works.
Now, we found you on Instagram, and I think we found your pictures, your paintings on Instagram, too.
Yeah,
I think that's where we found you. I remember my intern saying, come look at this, you got to see these, they were just beautiful. And, of course, Facebook, Moira Donohoe Art. And, in fact, I think I just went to Google the other day and typed Moira Donohoe. I wasn't even done typing it, and I found all of your contacts on there.
Oh,
So
that's good to
very
know.
cool. We are almost out of time. Anything else you want our viewers to know?
I think a trip up to Oakhurst and then beyond to Yosemite is a great thing to do before it gets too snowy and icy.
Yeah.
It's really nice right now.
You know how to exist in that, the snow and the ice, you can drive your car and all that?
Well, I've never been fond of driving on ice, but I can do it
You can
in a
survive.
pinch.
Most of us from Fresno, we haven't even seen snow. You know, we don't see snow. It's like every few years we get to see snow. So those who can exist within it, I'm always impressed.
Yeah, I was in Alaska for a long time too.
Oh my gosh.
As an adult, you know, I lived up there for a while.
Whereabouts?
Soldotna and Anchorage, and now my daughter lives in Fairbanks.
Fairbanks.
Yeah.
Some people, it's hard to get them back from Alaska.
I was so homesick for California when I was there,
bet.
and the Sierra especially, and my family.
Yeah. Now, I know we're way out of time, but you mentioned that some people might ask for something special. What might people ask for in a painting?
Well, sometimes somebody would like me to do a commission for them, and I don't have that up on my, on my website, but if someone's interested, they could
Would
get
it
in
be
touch.
a portrait? Would it be a picture of their scenery? What kind of commission would they want?
Sometimes people will give me a photograph that they want to make a painting of, and other times they would just like, someone gave me a commission one time. He loved what I did, but the painting was gone, so he asked me if I could recreate it, which I did.
Nice.
It was different. I mean, it's impossible to make the same thing over again,
Yes.
but it was sort of like it.
Yeah. Well, our guest is Moira Donohoe, who came all the way from Mariposa to be on our show, and we appreciate that. I always say that, you know, it's Central Valley Talk. We celebrate what's good about the valley, but do you call that the valley? It's kind of above the valley, isn't it? Mariposa and Yosemite?
Foothills.
Foothills?
Yeah.
They're still part of us.
Yeah, it's still the Central California.
Thank you, Moira, for
Oh.
making this trip and sharing your beautiful art with us. And we want you to
Thanks,
come
Mike.
back again anytime.
Oh,
We'd love
thank
to have you
you.
back again. Take some pictures. Have somebody take some pictures of you doing the painting. I'm fascinated by your process, sitting out in the meadow and.
Oh,
doing
yeah,
that.
okay.
That'd be fun to see.
I do have some, actually. I didn't stick those in there, but I do have some.
I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We're out of time, unfortunately, because I could talk to Moira for hours. I'm Mike Briggs. We'll be back with more right after this.